Well, thank you and welcome to the demo today. We're going to talk about storage solutions for your shop, and they ran the gamut of most anything from liquids to fasteners, to sandpaper, to cans of paint, and let's jump right in here. Now, first thing I want to talk about is this little solution here. This is for storing sandpaper, and what we have here is a nice tray. So we have normally boxes like this all over our shop, and some are thick, some are thin, some end up here, some end up there, the little pieces. But this gives us a place we can insert these and they're right there, ready for us. Or you can put them this way and you can see the grit of the paper written right on the base of the paper. You might want to get little labels and make a label right here, but here you can see the size of the grit. This is a great storage solution. They get knocked all over shop and put places where you can't remember they are. Now you've got one central place, all your sheet sandpaper. Another good idea for sheet sandpaper comes from the folks at Festool. They make a sustainer, wrong one, but it's this size. Put it up, you'll see compartments for 5-inch sandpaper. And this is not Festool specific. Any 5-inch sandpaper will do. So now you've got a nice, easy storage space for sander, and you can keep this next to your random orbit sander. Festool even makes empty boxes that you can get foam for, and you can get out space for your random orbit sander, and you can actually start storing stuff in Festool sustainers. The nice part about sustainers is they stick to each other. You can put a toolbox and come up in here, and now it's one. So you can have tools up here, you can have the products that go to the tools underneath. Liquids. What would you use liquids for? Normally you're buying quarts or gallons of liquids and you're using them for simple projects. And if you work out your measurements right, you're going to have more finish or stain or dye left over than what you need for your project. So how do you store them? Well, you can store them in the cans. However, the bigger the can is with the less volume in it, the more air you've got in the can. So the more detrimental is it to the finish or stain or whatever you're using that's still in the can. So here we have a gallon container, a quart container, and a half-quart container. So if I were to use a gallon, and I used half a gallon, I would take what was left in that and put it into 2 of these and put a solid lid on top. If I was using one of these, you only use half of it, I'd put it in here, again, solid lid on top. And I've removed half the air from the can. There's also another product that we have that's kind of neat. This is called a stop-loss bag. And the stop-loss bag is meant to have whatever you've got left over from your can put into a place where we're going to reduce the amount of air in there. So all we have to do is pour the product we have left into here. And you can see a problem right away. So the nice folks at Stop Loss came up with this. This is a collapsible funnel, silicone, rubber, so nothing sticks to it. So you won't build up layers of product in here. It'll just, when it dries, it'll just peel right off. You even got a little handle here to hook this on a wall. So if you don't want to, you want to use both hands, you can put a hook. And if you had a piece of metal, you can now hold your bag in here and with this hand pour the product. This goes right over the end of the nozzle. this way. Just like that. So again, we can put this on a hook and hold it. We can have one hand down here, the other hand pouring. Don't have any hooks, hold it like this. Keep this on the ground and pour your product in here. What that's going to do is fill this up. When you get finished, you want to basically squeeze the top slightly so the product comes right up to here, and then put the lid on it. What you've done is you've taken all that oxygen out of there, which causes the finish or the stains to set. And this way they last much longer. Plus, it's very important, you write the name of the product and the date that you use this on. 2 years. Once it goes in here, no more than 2 years. Ideally, you use it all up within 1 year, but you don't want it to get in there too long. And these come in a bag with 4 of these in it. And it does a good long way, especially if you find yourself using a lot of different types of finishes, you're trying different things. This is a good way to keep them fresh as long as you can. Another thing we have is we have lots of little tools, little fasteners, little things that we keep in our shop. And we need a good place to store them that's easier for us to get to. And that's where these come in, these little pull-out trays. We've got big windows in the front, so we can actually see what's in here. And it's easy to access. Plus, with these openings here for hooks or pegs, we can hang it on a wall, we can hang it on a desk, we can screw it into a wall. There's all kinds of different things you can do. Plus, they'll stack on top of each other. So you can have a whole bank of these. I would highly recommend that you'd also have some type of labeling that you can put on here that you can just look and see what the label says it is. And hopefully what's in here will be what the label says it is. But I've got these all over the shop and I use them all the time. I've got pin components in them. I've got, I like making humidors, so I've got hinges in here. I've got clasps in here, stays. Any hardware that you would use, especially if you like to do a particular type of project and you want to carry a bunch of it, this is really what you want. This is an excellent, excellent system. Like this is this. This is a Festool system for holding those little bits of things. And these have drawers that pull out. And these have dividers so you can divide the drawers up. The nice part about this system, not only can you store things and then set the storage space in there, as with any Festool sustainer, this can clip onto other sustainers. So you can have a tool chest with stuff underneath to take with you. In the same line as this, is this. And I have this one from Festool, and I use this all the time. This is a great little toolbox. This stands up, but you can still attach this to a regular sustainer. Flip these to the side, and the tops open like this. So we've got all this storage space, and we can buy these containers here from Festool. And we can put more in here. We can do long tools, short tools. This is an easy, toteable toolbox. It's also a great place to store stuff, especially if you've got a particular product. So you like to use Dremel tools. This will hold lots of different Dremel heads, the Dremel tool itself. Dremel has an adapter that you can use it like a router. All these things would fit into this. So this is a good storage solution. Plus, it's a to-go bag. If you need to do something at a friend's house or in your house, you can have these nice tools that you have in your shop. You can also easily bring them inside. So this is an also viable storage solution. If you didn't need much space, You can even get smaller ones. So this is what I've got for my screwdriver sets that have all different types of little screwdriver heads that are in here. Whether it's hex, pawns, blade, whatever it is, I can put all those different heads in here, the different drivers in here, and other accessories right in here. So like magnetic holders. So great little thing, grab and go. This is great, especially at Christmas time. You have to put a lot of stuff together for the kids in the Christmas tree. This is what you put your assembly tool in, and off you go. You've got it, everything right where you need it. Another thing we want to show you, this is called Kaizen foam. Kaizen foam comes in many different sizes. You get a big sheet like this. This is a 20 millimeter, I think, 20 or 30. And it comes in 50. And all you do is cut out the shape that you want. And then this is designed, you can see layers in here. You can just take a little knife and cut out a shape and start picking little layers off. And this is designed to make a nice opening so you can really fit tools in here so they don't run around, they don't jiggle. And I use this not only in my toolbox, I also use it in the drawers in my shop for the benches to hold everything in place. I can open that drawer immediately, find what I'm looking for, and if there's any gaps or holes in there, I know I didn't put something away that's somewhere in my shop. Because believe me, I bought stuff before that I didn't need to because I couldn't find what I was looking for. Other neat things. This is kind of neat. This is designed for mobile tool tests. You've seen the big mechanics tool chest on wheels, all metal. This is for stuff that you might use and easy to grab. You've got holes here for screwdrivers. You've got holes here for cans, so they could be a spray stain, spray finish, most anything you want. And these are magnets. And they're designed to get something magnetic here, and it just sticks to it. So if you have your workshop, one of those mobile, it's a good solid magnetic lock. This will stay on that mobile toolbox, and this is a handy little feature. Believe you need something, especially if we're going to use finishes, that's right there, easy to get to. Plus you write a date on the top so you know when they expire. But this is always out. Magnets, you can't go wrong with magnets. And that's a good solid lock, you can hear it. Most of us have chisels, carving tools, turning tools. These are examples of the bags that you can get for storage for those. Here you see a normal chisel bag. Put the handle in here. This is where the top of the chisel goes. And then this comes over to cover those sharp ends so you don't cut your fingers. And then we have this. This actually starts to roll. It's designed to have these tools in here, and once you get it, and this is going to expand. The more tools you get in here, the bigger this will be. But then this comes over. And clips this way. Clips this way. There's your handle. We've got these that are this wide for turning tools. We've got these this wide for one set of chisels on one side. We've got these this wide. This is what you can use either for chisels, or you can use it for, most people use it for carving tools. And you can have all your carving tools in here that you like, and it's the same thing. You're just going to, especially if you go to the carving clubs or something like that, and then this comes over, tie it together, and here is your roll. So 2 ways to do about it. Clips with the handle. This is the old-fashioned. You've got this, tie the roll closed, and then you carry it just like this, but all your stuff is right there. You can have this for toting. I keep turning tools that I use all the time in one of these bags next to the lathe. I like having it in a bag. I don't like having these out where they can get dropped and the edges can hit on the concrete or hit something heavy, and so I've been known to hit them myself and cut myself. So if you can hold them someplace safe, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Speaking of holding tools safe, this is one of those things, when I first saw it, I went, yeah. Then I put one in my shop, and I absolutely love it. This is designed to hold on two ways. You can use the pegboard or hold of that. I don't recommend it. I drove screws because you'll find out that this will do 16. You can put it right on studs, but I put them on studs on mine. And this is full of tools now. This is great. It's right, my bench top to here. My wall is right there. All these are right here. So when I'm here, I've got all the screwdrivers, all the different sizes. I've got wrenches. I've got dead blow hammers. I've got little bronze tamping hammers. All these things that I find I want to reach down, use, and put on the bench. Now I reach down and use, and I put it back up here. They're all out in front of me. This is really inexpensive. This is a great solution. Plus, these holes are different sizes, so you can actually find yourself having a set of screwdrivers with different sizes, going from big to little. All the same thing here, you got the various sizes here. These big round oval ones, those are for things with handles, like pliers. You put the top end of the plier here, the handles will stop it right here. Those are always available to you, and you can see looking out what they are. This is a really neat thing. The more I use, the more I thought how ingenious this was. That's a goodie. Okay, these are really good tools, storage tools. This is just a hook with a magnet. Well, what good is a hook with a magnet? Well, in these days of coronavirus, they're a real good place to hang your face mask so you always know where it is when you work on your shop. Those are neat. Any little thing like that is the kind of stuff that we're looking at to do. Don't also figure out that this is also a storage device. This is a shop. We've got aprons here that our employees wear. If you look at it, they've got their pencils, their pens, their tape measures, rulers, anything that they might need in a project, you keep on here. Then when you're done for the day and you hang it up, you know where everything is. When you put it on the next day, all your stuff is right here again. So these are really good. And this is the stuff that you always have on you. Your tape measure that you're always supposed to have on you. If you get one, make sure that it's got one of these clips, because this is what you want to store it on. When you're not using it, clip right here to the belt. It is a great, and I use this every day, whether it's in the shop or here at the store. Tape measure, someplace to store it. Belt, someplace to store it. And there you go. Just little simple things. One time I had big totes I used to store stuff in. That was great. I filled them up. I had walls full of them. And then I could remember what I put in each one. Going to use totes, going to use anything to store. If you can't see what the product is, make sure you put labels on it so you know. If you're going to have a big tote and store stuff, write labels or on a magic marker what's in the box. You just can't assume that you remember what you put in all these little nooks and crannies. They've got to be properly labeled. Because if you don't, you'll find yourself buying 3 or 4 or 5 of the same thing because you couldn't find the first couple, 3 or 4 or 5. So that's the important part. Thank you very much in these days of the corona, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.